Thank you, Lauren. We're talking about how Western New Yorkers are making a difference this weekend in our community as the annual Polar Plunge happens at Woodlawn Beach. To gear up for the interview, we're having a little fun. We've decided to go outside into the cold, into the rain, or as Erica Rapel right over here called it, the original Polar Plunge, which is just being cold. Now, a lot of people know what the Polar Plunge is. Last year I participated in it. It's an incredibly exciting and interesting event, but fill us in for people that haven't heard about it yet. What is it all about?
It's all about raising funds and awareness for Special Olympics. We're expecting about 1,500 people to come out on Saturday to take the plunge. They can do a slow crawl, they can dip their toe in Lake Erie and just kind of raise funds and awareness for Special Olympics.
Now, I like that you said a slow crawl or dip your toes in. When I did it last year, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be fully submerged. I'm going all the way under. I got into the water and I just sort of dipped down a little bit. But, you mentioned how many people are doing it this year. Compare that to last year. Let's break down last year's numbers and let's talk about what you expect to do this year.
Last year we had about 1,200 people that did it. This year we're expecting about 300 more. There's still time to register. We have a lot of people that come day of and register, but we're expecting to raise around $150,000 for our athletes, and all that money is going to stay local, go to our local athletes, and we have about 3,000 athletes in Western New York. So
let's talk about where the money goes. So for these athletes, how do they sort of take the money and how is it being used?
We never charge our athletes to train or compete in anything. We have 22 Olympic-style sports, so we take all the money that we raise in Western New York and we give it back to the athletes. Their uniforms, their training, their facilities, transportation, food, everything goes back to our athletes to help them train to become awesome athletes.
And if you look back on a lot of the interviews we've done with the Special Olympics here on Winging It Buffalo Style, we've met a lot of those athletes along the way, and I have to say, it's all they talk about. It is such a huge and such an important part of their life to be able to compete in these competitions and train. So that's really what this is all about.
It is, absolutely. Our athletes are so important to our community and the Special Olympics that they just love. It changes their life. It's a group of people that come together and they have one thing in common, sport, and it's amazing to see, it's inspiring to see, and to see how Buffalo reacts to this by raising $150,000 for our athletes is fantastic.
And if you're talking about some of the most dedicated people in Western New York, some of the most positive-minded people in Western New York, it is these athletes. So for people that maybe just want to support the athletes or want to do something they've never done before, and that is jump in a lake in the middle of winter, where can they register and how can they go about that?
They can go to our website. It's polarplungeny.org/Buffalo. They can register as a team. They can do it as an individual. They can come day of and do it. They can join a team, whatever you want to do. We fully support it. If you just want to donate, like I said, all the funds raised stay right here in Western New York.
And if people just want to get out and witness this and be part of the spectator sport, how do they go about doing that?
Come out to Woodlawn. Registration starts at 11 o'clock or plunges at 2. Anyone that raises $100 gets this lovely hoodie. And the more money that we raise, the better. We have about 10 people that have raised $500 that are sponsoring a Special Olympic athlete for an entire year, so that's fantastic.
And if you want any tips, if you're going out to do it from someone that has done it, one of the things I would recommend is having some sort of water shoe to protect your feet from the cold sand, and also having someone ready with blankets and towels and boots and maybe hot chocolate because it does get very cold. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a blast to have you here. I wanted to do this interview with our feet in ice buckets, but I think this is cold enough out here, so we're going to send it back to Lauren, who's in the studio.